But let me take you out a bit into the field of genomics. I think the speakers before referred to it. It's a fascinating field, right? So I was just talking to some of my colleagues in the company. They've done some research. And though this might not be a problem here, but in a lot of parts of the world, the heavy drinking is a big problem. But apparently, there is a gene in you that makes you predisposed to be a heavy drinker. So the genomics is going to revolutionize healthcare, guys. And if you guys have heard of 23andMe, right?
Yep.
Apparently, I didn't know this, but you have signed away your data to them. They own your data. And their valuation just increased 5 times when they declared that they're going to be a pharmaceutical company going forward. And typically, a drug discovery and time to market is about 8 years. And apparently, the success rate for the pharma is about 20%. And that's why the drugs are so expensive, right? Talk about expensive drug. But with genomics, that is reduced by 50%. And the success rate has gone up by 50%. So imagine how that's going to revolutionize care, pharmaceutical company, and pretty much everything, right? Yeah. Because imagine if you can, I was talking to you earlier, if we can say, if 3 of us are predisposed to diabetes and take targeted interventions, right? To maybe not prevent, but elongate the onset of diabetes. Think about the savings, not only the improvement in life, but saving that does to the healthcare system, right? I mean, if you can reduce the onset of diabetes by 5 years or delayed by 5 years, that's just amazing. And you can do it with targeted interventions, right? And then goes back to value-based care, which we probably won't have time to talk about. But coming back on the genomics field, I want to get your opinion on what do you think about what's happening in genomics?
Yeah, I'm no expert in that space, but certainly from my perspective, it's moving so quickly, and the impact, as you say, is immense. The pathway where we intersect with it is really with some of those pharmaceutical businesses that are in the development of that. So in the diabetes field, we're working with a company there in the clinical trials part of that to simulate and accelerate that process of that drug coming through. I think it's got fantastic potential with it. I love the idea of them identifying the weak spots within me and my family and being able to target Absolutely. In that way. And it's okay that those are expensive. And when we support a drug in global rollout, which is almost $1 million per patient,
right?
But it cures blindness,
right?
But as you say, the cost of that over the and this is in a child, so the cost of that over a lifetime is many times that. So it seems a lot up front, and there's an insurance issue there for who pays for it. But actually, the human value, the lifetime value, well worth it. I'm super excited about that whole space.
Absolutely. No, you raise up a good point. I was talking to one of the people from our pharma practice, and they said that some of the drugs, right, are really, really expensive, as you said. But we don't know, depending on your genomic or gene type, whether they'll be effective for you. So imagine, he was saying there is a drug that costs about $10,000 a week for a certain condition. I forget what it was. But imagine you taking that and it's not effective on you because of your gene makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, talk about waste of money and resources.
Right,
so the personalized, the targeted medications that we will get in the future. So now, right, we were talking earlier, all of us, if we're sick, we get the same set of antibiotics. But in the future, the drug labels will say if you have gene XYZ, you need to take this medication because it's more effective than the other one. So the pharma companies are going towards, forget the blockbuster drugs, they're going towards more personalized medicine, right? And precision medicine, really. So Pranav, what do you think that impact will be? It's a fascinating field.
Yeah. I think I was just reading earlier about an article on genomics where they mentioned that even the cost of genomics is actually almost reducing at double the speed of like Moore's law, rate of Moore's law. So I think once it becomes more and more affordable and accessible, I think it's going to revolutionize the whole healthcare ecosystem.
Yep, it's amazing. So guys, in your thoughts, what are some of the technologies that you think need to still come a bit more acceptable? I mean, data is important. Cloud is obviously, you can do with it cloud, right?
Yeah.
So data, cloud, AI, I mean, what do you think there are some of the shortcomings or things that would speed up the revolution that we're going to? We're doing it at amazing speed, but wanted to get your thoughts. From your perspective, for example, AR, VR, metaverse, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the key one's interoperability.
Right.
So much data sits in small silos or large silos. It might be at a country level, but being able to get that data to move with the patient across insurance providers, across providers of healthcare. That I think is the key one there.
Pranav, your thoughts on that?
I believe it has to be in assistive technologies because since 1930s there haven't been many technologies that were actually in this space. I think in the last 5 years it's just picking up, and I think that's got to be assistive technologies. Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess I'm told to wrap up. So some final thoughts. We'll start with you, Pranav.
I believe we've seen some phenomenal startups here in the conference. I think it's extremely important for us to actually have proper policies that in every single country that can actually support the startup ecosystem in a much more better way. Because I was just listening to a talk earlier where they were talking about how startups are going to provide more jobs than conglomerates in the next decade. Right, I think so. It's most important for us to make sure that the healthcare and medical device startup ecosystem grows much stronger.
No, absolutely makes it. Richard, your thoughts?
Yeah, really briefly, I think for me it's all about non-organic growth. I think we have the opportunity to make exponential leaps, and this is the theme here, leap. I think we're doing it in the world of VR and the use of that for surgical training. I think you talked about it in genomics. I think there's so many great places where we can just step over established practice and thinking and really move the needle quickly.
Right. So no, I couldn't agree more. And as I said earlier, I'm really excited and passionate about what we can achieve with technology. I think we have to get a few things right. You guys touched about data. I think data is important, right? How do we get the data? And there's also, I think people are still interested in building data warehouses, right? And consolidation of data. That'll take forever. So how do we get into the federated learning concepts, right? Where data can stay wherever it is. You have your algorithms going and learning from the data, right? So data is important. Then cloud. We talked to the CEOs of the companies. They said in the next 2 years, 90% of them want to move to cloud. I'm talking about healthcare companies, right? I think cloud gives you the amazing flexibility to be able to innovate fast. I think speed is the key thing, right? And I think healthcare industry for the longest period of time has lagged behind because of the access to technology and speed. And technology is changing. So I think it's going to change. It's a fascinating time, guys. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you guys and your thoughts. We'll keep the discussion going. Thank you, guys. Thanks.